My name is Mark Jane Kubenzis. This is my path, my journey. I'm willing to explain it all to you guys. No holding back anything. I just hope you're ready for the experience, and I just hope you can handle it. It was crazy. Circus, the ringleader, becoming God's thoughts, all insane. So this is going to be a DMT trip report, and this is going to be called Welcome to the Circus. There was a lot of DMT in the bowl, okay? Because I was smoking DMT with my dude Nature, and we were just chilling, just chilling, vibing, having philosophical conversations, talks just about the world, creation, time, hippiness, shamans, things like that. And we just decided to smoke some DMT to further our journey. And considering I haven't really had a mind-blowing DMT experience in like a month or two. Which I mean to other people that's like, damn. Other people would be like, I haven't had a mind-blowing DMT experience in a couple years. Me, I'm like a couple months. But my dude Nature has never broken through on DMT before. We've smoked DMT together probably 5 times. And only one time, this time, is the only time he ever broke through. And I told him I think it was a fact of him not intaking enough at once. Because all it took was one bong rip. But, people say that you gotta smoke it, do the 3-4 hit type thing out of a bowl. Fuck that. Put 70 to 80 milligrams of DMT in a bong. Make sure the bong is dry, a dry bong, then sandwich it with weed, and then clear that whole thing, clear the whole bowl in one hit, and then inhale that, and then hold it. You will freaking blast. You will go. Now, I packed the bong, and Nature, I gave it to Nature first, because I wanted him to experience the whole breakthrough experience of just the partial of a breakthrough. I just at least wanted him to see the vortex, or at least wanted him to see the other side, that dimension. So I got to doing that. He hit it. He didn't break through at first. So as he was sitting there, laying there, or whatever, when he came back from it, I decided I'm going to hit it too. So that's what I did. I packed another one for me, but not thinking that he didn't clear the bong. So, because he didn't clear the bong, there was still DMT in the bong. And then I put about probably 40, 50 more milligrams in there for me. And then on top of what was already there, there was just a lot more DMT. I ended up clearing that whole bowl, the whole bong, and cleared it in one hit, because I got iron lungs, so I cleared it in one hit, and I held it. And as I was holding it, I realized that, man, this is going to be intense. And then as soon as I said that, I just laid back, and I let it take me, because that's the thing. Like, a lot of times I tend to fight it, because last time I smoked, I was on my couch and shit, and I had to go to work, so I couldn't really focus on the trip, because as I was in that trip, I was focusing, man, I got to go to work, I do this. Not this time, I didn't have shit to do. So I was just sitting there, and I let it take me. And as I let it take me, it started getting more, I don't want to say intense, but it just started coming at me. Like all of a sudden, it's like my eyes are closed, and then in the distance, it's like seeing this colorful pattern, almost like this head of the shroom colorful pattern, but it's like that's in my vision, but all the way back, and it just starts expanding, and then the whole feeling of that dimension expands, and I go from, like I said, like I said before, in a lot of my other DMT trips, I went from vibrating to feeling like water to feeling like nothing, to having no feeling in my body whatsoever. So as I'm going through this dimension, right, I'm going through this tunnel, and it wasn't even really a tunnel, it wasn't the vortex per se, but it was just all of a sudden flash, I'm just flying through this dimension, this colorful space dimension, and all of a sudden, it puts me in this place where it's like, I feel like this dimension, or the beings, or something in that dimension, whether it's the creator, Mother Ayahuasca, whoever, was testing me in some way. Because as I was going through this, I get to a place in this dimension where it's like there's different rooms in front of me, okay? So it was almost like I'm in space, and there's all these different rooms, and there's like 5 rooms to the left, 5 rooms a little more to the left, but a little up more, and then there's like 5 rooms up forward, 5 rooms this way, 5 rooms that way, and whatever, so forth and so on. Now, it was almost like for a second there, right then when I realized that I was in this place, in a snap, I was just, boom, I felt like I was the creator's thoughts in a way. Like I don't want to say God, but what else can you say? The singularity, the whole, the universe, the spirit consciousness of the universe. I felt like I was everything, and I felt like they were testing me. So first they would test me in this way. Like, they would test me in the way of minds. So they wanted to test me to see how many minds I can handle, I guess. How many people I can handle being at one time. So it was like all of a sudden, as I remember I told you about these rooms, right? So as I'm like the higher being looking at all these rooms, okay? And then all of a sudden I look over there and I become the beings that were in this room. So it was like if there was 5 human minds in this room over here, I was those 5 human minds at the same time. Then I became the 5 human minds in this room. Then I became the 5 human minds in this room. Then I became the 5 human minds in this room. Then I became the 5 human minds in this room. And as that went on, it went up from me being like 1 mind to 2 minds to 5 minds to 10 minds to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. So once I got to being about 50 to 100 people, and it was like I was 50 to 100 people's different thoughts, and like I was their whole thing. Like, their whole consciousness was me. So I was all 50 to 100 of these consciousnesses. And some of them were female, some of them were male, some of them were, I could tell they were different consciousnesses because they were different voices. They were different thoughts. It wasn't my voice speaking. If I went to this room, like if I looked towards this room, it was somebody else's voice. I looked towards this room, it was another voice. I looked towards this room, it was another voice. So as I was going through, and I'm just trying to keep up with all these thoughts and all these things, I'm just blasting over this way, blasting over to this part, blasting over this part, over this part, over this part, this part, this part, this part, and it just got so overwhelming that I started freaking out in my head because it just kept adding more minds in a way, and it just kept adding more people, or I don't know if to call them people, people's minds or whatever consciousnesses, and to me, before I get into more detail, to me this is all because God the Creator, if the Creator is real, and I believe He is, but the Creator is all of us. We are all the Creators separated. He split Himself up, he or she or it split Himself up into billions of people, the 7 billion people that we are today. So, imagine if you could be 7 billion people at the same time. That's what God probably thinks and feels like at all times. He's all of us. So, I feel like that's what they were testing me on in a way. Testing me on trying to see if I could handle this. And I realized at that point, when it started getting really overwhelming, I realized that I might not, I don't want to say know as much as I think I know, but as much as I know, if I know any more than anybody else, and I'm not saying I do, I'm just, true enlightenment is knowing that you don't know a damn thing. But right then and there is when I realized I am not ready. No matter how ready I thought I am to be a creator in training, or I don't even know, and a higher being, I'm nowhere near ready, because that experience was starting to get really overwhelming. 50 to 100 people, thoughts, I was just everywhere. I was everywhere, and I couldn't take it anymore. When I realized I couldn't take it, I wanted to scream. When I wanted to scream, I just couldn't take it, and then I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking go insane. I'm gonna go insane. What is going on? I can't keep up. And then boom. It was like they jumped me into another reality. Like I just got dropped through a trap door of some sort, and it was like all of a sudden I was no longer the creator's thoughts. I was no longer the creator anymore. I could tell that I was me again. That I was just the one consciousness that I am right now. And at that point, I realized where I was. Okay, so it was like I got dropped into the circus in a way, but it wasn't a normal circus. Obviously, a circus. I say a circus because the environment of this place reminded me of a circus. And there was this guy there. This being, okay? This being was there, and he was around singing. He was kind of dancing around this place. But I'm going to clip in this clip that I have of this other video. This video that I recorded that day of this trip, and I recorded it for memory purposes, but this was before the new equipment and stuff, so I just want to get this in there because I explain it really well right here because it was literally 5 minutes after the trip itself, so just take a look real quick. It was so overwhelming that I just broke into this place that was like this dude was, it was almost like the only way I could describe this guy was like a clownish guy, like a ringleader. He reminded me of a ringleader in a freaking circus, and he was just running around and just dancing, singing ooh da da sa ma da ooh da da sa na ma da ooh, and he just kept repeating it. But I was playing on 432 frequency at the time, but he was making music with that frequency. He was putting music on top of the frequency and adding different strings and different weird instruments, but different drums and just ooh, nah, ta. But as he was spinning around, he was spinning the whole universe with him. Now, I just wanted to clip that in because of, I guess, of the emotion and feelings that I was feeling that day were real. Like, I was literally 5 minutes after I came out of that, so I was still very much in it. So I was still very much enthused and just so in it and so, like, shocked and amazed and just wow type, you know what I mean? As this guy was singing and he was going, and as he was spinning, okay, so as he was spinning, he was going around me, but then he was like almost on like this, I don't want to say like a tricycle, but it reminded me like he was the ringleader of a circus. Like I was in a circus, but there was nobody else but us, but me and him. And then I was in, and one thing I forgot to mention is that the room that we were in was rectangle. It was a rectangle room, so it was like a long, narrow rectangle room. And he would spin around me. He would go around me singing "Ooh ma jata na, ooh ma jata na," as he would keep going around me, and it was almost like he was on a tricycle or some type of car type machine, something. And then as he was going around, he just had the funniness of a ringleader to a circus. You know, that was just his vibe. And as he was spinning around, he was like creating the Fibonacci sequence like a vortex around us. Around as he was spinning the whole thing, the middle of the room was becoming like a vortex, like whatever. It started forming into it. And then as he was singing, then in my head I'm thinking, okay, whatever. So I'm gonna just do what he's doing. Maybe that's what he wants me to do. So then I started singing with him, and we were both just singing ooh ma jatana, ooh ma jatana, ooh, and it was just insanely crazy. And as that was going on, I totally forgot normalness, or I totally forgot what the fuck is being normal. What is being human? It's not like I didn't know what was being human. It's that at that moment in time, that's what I was, so that's what I was. I was a light being or something singing with this other light being ringleader, jester type guy, and we were just singing and I guess creating a vortex in the floor. I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me. But he was just having fun. And I was also playing 432 frequency the whole time. Okay, so the whole time I put 432 frequency on and on the speaker, and it was just playing the whole time while me and Nature were smoking DMT. So this dude was just adding music to it, and he was like adding instruments on top of instruments on top of instruments, that like beautiful instruments that I can't even explain what they were. Like, I could explain kind of what they sounded like, almost like a violin and strings and guitar and piano and all these things, but they were a lot more crisp and more beautiful than a guitar, or crisp and more beautiful than a piano, or more beautiful than an orchestra. It was, the instruments themselves were on a different level of beautiful, like the sound of it. So he would just add these on like he was making a beat to the frequency. Like the 432 frequency was the main sound of the beat, and he just kept adding things to it. And as he was singing ooh ma jata na, just going around, and it would just add more instruments, and it was just amazing and beautiful. And then I started to fade out of that dimension, and it started just falling away from me, and then I'm just all of a sudden laying on the bed, and I get up, dude, and I was tripping so hard because Nature said something to me. So I get up and I try to look at him, but as I try to look at him, I'm just like, but I was looking at him. It was like I could only see his face, his head. I could only see his head, and besides the head, everything else around him was about as colorful and crazy as this shirt is, and like there was geometric patterns everywhere and everything, and the only thing that was very vivid to me was just his face, and as he was saying, and I remember telling him, like, bro, I don't even know if this is real right now, so, like, just give me, like, 5 more minutes, and we can talk about whatever, and then I just kind of laid back and just let it wear off. But that right there was my encounter with the ringleader of the DMT Circus, I guess. And then before that, I was the creator's thoughts being tested to see if I was ready for something. Who knows what the fuck they're testing me for. And yeah, so that was really it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for taking the time out to watch this and to actually watch my videos and try to understand my journey, because this is not for recreational use. This is not for fun. This is to learn. Even though that trip was pretty fun, and just, I guess, singing with this other dimensional being in hyperspace and just learning things like that is fun, but it is learning and it is serious. So, take it how you want, but that's just what it is. So, thank you guys for watching. If you want to subscribe, that would be so amazing. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, peace.